right, welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Hope you guys are doing well. Like, subscribe, and share. And thank you guys for watching the video. It is February 8th, 2019. All right, so Benny was supposed to go live tonight. I'm not sure if he will or not because he is dealing with the flu virus now, and so I'm not sure if he's going to go live or not. So, anyways, if he goes live, then you guys can watch it. If he does go live and you can't watch it, I will post it Saturday morning. If he doesn't go live, then I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So it is what it is. Okay. So he needs to take care of himself, anyways. Um, okay. So let's get started here with the Iraq dinar report for you guys and girls. And while I was talking there, you guys had a chance to check this out. And so let's talk about this one that says from the central bank. Now, this is not from Ali Alak. Okay, it's not from the governor of central bank, just from the central bank. Okay, so it says the central bank of Iraq project deletion of zeros from the currency still exists. Okay, so the project of deletion of zeros, okay, from the currency still exists. All right, so they still want to bring the 3 zeros in. They want those 3 zero notes to come on in. But they know that they need to raise the value. They need to remove the program rate and let it go supply versus demand, and that's the way that they'll be able to bring in those 3 zeros. But they have a government that is not fully technocrat, and those guys do not want this to happen, right? They want to stay in control. They want to continue to have their way over the citizens and the country and make sure the country does not achieve, because then they lose their power and their leverage. Okay, and then they can also be tried for their crimes that they have done against humanity. Okay, so let's see here. So the Central Bank of Iraq that the project to delete the 3 zeros, okay, from the Iraqi currency is still standing. Okay, so the director of the issuance of cabinets, Abdul Karim Hassan Shannon, okay, that the project to delete the zeros was postponed to start, was supposed, excuse me, I don't know what I was reading there, was supposed to start in 2014. Okay, so let's stop there. And so 2014, you guys remember what happened to now? Actually, see, it was supposed to start in 2014, but it was actually was supposed to happen in 2011, right? 2011, 2000. I think it was 2011. Wasn't that the year that Dr. Shabibi announced it to the nations that he was going to, revalue, and then all of a sudden, he leaves town and they create all these things about him. Maliki shuts the government down, the CBI down, and throws everybody in prison when he gets back and things like that. So all that stuff happens in 2011, 2012. Okay, so that's when it actually was supposed to happen under Dr. Shabibi. Okay, so what you're seeing here, it says the project to delete the 3 zeros is supposed to happen in 2014, right? 2014 to 2018 was when Abadi reigned. So they thought that Abadi was going to come in and drop the 3 zeros when he came in, and so did a lot of us. So did the dinar community, right? The dinar community said, okay, the Americans are going to be able to pick the next prime minister and remove Maliki because he's the problem. And Abadi's going to be able to come in there, and he's going to be able to drop the 3 zeros with the central bank governor, Ali Alak. Okay, at that time it wasn't Alak, it was Turkai. Okay, and Turkai had no clue what he was doing. So okay, so they removed him. Maliki removed them before he left, and put in Abdul Ali Alak, and then he flooded with permission of Obama. He flooded the terrorist group into Iraq, right? So so at that time, Ali Alak was under was under Maliki heavily, right? And then he started to branch himself out and started to help the country, right? And Maliki got very angry at him because he was starting to backfire against Maliki, and so they wanted him out. They were trying to get him out, and he kept staying. He kept beating the odds, and he kept staying. So now Sauter and then won him out because he's a proxy, right? And America's saying no, let him stay in there. So you know what I mean. So I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Now the Lord is calling for the release of currencies, and so I'm like, okay, if the Lord is calling for the release of currencies through the prophets, then that means Ali Alak is going to stay. It's probably going to be the one that's in there that's going to do this releasing. Okay. So, anyways, now they were supposed to start in 2014 again. This is supposed to be a restart because they were already in position to get it done in 2011, right? With Dr. Shabibi removing the money changers, eliminating the money changers, holding the rate, okay, at the market rate at 1,200 with the 2% compliance for a whole year. So they were ready to go. He was ready to get it done. And also, Maliki had promised the herbal agreement. I'm thinking it was either 2011, 2012. I cannot remember what it was. It was either June. I think it was June 2011 or June 2012. I can't remember. But anyway, many of you guys weren't even in, so so it doesn't really matter. Um, but yeah, so and then of course Maliki reneged on that and then turned into a dictator, right? Um, so 2014, they had to postpone it because once somebody took office, Maliki had already flooded ISIS into the country, so they had to postpone it. And then they come out, the finance ministers, I believe it was the finance ministers, came out and postponed it for 5 years. It was either Ministry of Planning or the finance ministers or the central bank themselves came out and said the deletion 3 zeros is postponed for 5 years till 2019. Okay, so and then of course the NARC community went crazy. We said no, that's not possible. You know what I mean? And a lot of us were upset. The ones that were there doing this full time, watching this happen, right? And so it is what it is, man. I remember, them flooding in, these ISIS members right into the country. Okay, so man, this seems like it was just yesterday that this happened. Golly, 2014 seems like a long way ago now. It's already 2019. Okay. So anyway, so that's what happened, and so let's see here. It says, but security events and the control of the state regulations of 5 provinces led to the delay. Pointing out that the project to delete the 3 zeros from the current currency with the introduction of large currencies and currencies metal. Okay, so Shannon confirmed that the currency cash volume of the markets is large at 44 trillion dinars. Now it's been at 40 plus trillion dinars since 2000 and since whenever they started recording how much cash they has been given out right to the world and to the Iraqis, right? It's been at 40 trillion for a long time. So and remember, Iraq doesn't count the money outside of Iraq. They only care about the money inside of Iraq. So it could be they could have 3 trillion inside of Iraq, and they could have 41 trillion outside Iraq. Money outside Iraq doesn't matter. They don't care about it because that's going to as soon as they raise the value, that's coming back in immediately. Okay, people are going to be selling that back in to the to the banks, and the banks are going to then send it to the reserves, and maybe it'll be sent back to Iraq. Okay, so because it's not going to be used anymore, the 3 zeros are not going to be used, so that's why they don't care about the money outside of Iraq. They only care about the money inside of Iraq because the money outside Iraq will be really won't be needed any longer, right? So it'll be turned in. All right. So there you go. So that's where we're at. Okay. So, but he does say here that the introduction of large currencies. So Mohammed Saleh, back in the day, he told us how the process was going to go as well. We know Dr. Shabibi didn't really talk about the deletion 3 zeros process. Mohammed Saleh definitely told us that the large notes would come out, and then the small notes and metals will come out right after to balance it out. So we would get we were supposed to get the 50,000 IQD and 100,000 IQD, okay, and that was going to be for big purchases, okay, and then we would get the small notes and the coins, and that would be the balancing act, and then we will remove that. That's how the three zeros were removed in the currency, and then the price of the currency could then come up, okay. And Dr. Shabibi told us that a what is the note count? He said the note count was going to go down to 3 to 1, okay, and then 2 to 1, and then 1 to 1. Or not, well, not. Let me say that over because it's not really 3 to 1. It's 3 billion. Okay, 3 billion notes to 1 billion notes to 2 billion notes to 1 billion notes. 3 billion notes will represent 1 to 1. 2 billion notes will represent 2 to 1 to the U.S. dollar, and 1 billion notes will represent 3 to 1 to the U.S. dollar. So I don't know what the note count is right now. I have no clue. Okay, some people think that the 44 trillion dinars is a no count. No, it's not. It's not a no. That's not the no count. That's how much is in. That's how much is total is out in public. Okay, so that's not the no count. All right. Um. All right. So that's how it is. Let's move on from there. Let's see here. So the project is still going. Okay, the project's still going as we know, and the Lord has already said it. Through several prophets now, it's time to release. Right. So but we need to see a climax. We need to see climaxes before the release can happen. Right. In my opinion. Okay, because the prophetic word of Clement said, when things seem at the worst, that's when I will release. So it's time for the release. So things need to be at their worst. Okay. So we're just gonna sit back and wait for that. Deputy, the American presence on Iraqi soil is not an occupation, and there is a need for it. Okay, so once again, this I'm thinking this guy already said this before. I've seen this guy's face before. I'm trying to see what his name is. Asawi, okay, or something like that. Okay, from the Victory Coalition, talking about. Okay, so he's talking about the presence of the U.S. forces on the ground, and he says their presence is active and an important one. Okay, so we're not gonna act. We're not going to ask them to leave now. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. They cannot, the American forces and the foreign troops should not leave until the job is done, until Iraq does their part. Okay? And there's no need for them to leave until that's done. We're not going to make the same mistake again. We made that mistake before. We're not going to make it again. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. Okay? So we just have to wait and you just have to wait and see. Okay, just wait it out, wait and see how it goes. But if I'm Donald Trump, I am not removing us from that country until they complete their mission. Point blank and simple. I don't care what their excuses are. I don't care what they want. We're not leaving until you complete your mission. Right? Give us the technocrat names. Give us the purchasing power for the citizens. Distribute the wealth to your people, and give us the herbal agreement. We're not leaving until you do that. Okay, and that's point blank and simple. So if you want us out, then go ahead and do what you got to do. Okay, and let's see. Now Israel's waiting. Israel's probably like, you know what, man. America's being too nice. Let's go over there and attack those nuclear power those secret nuclear power plants in Iran so we can get this over with. And that might happen as well. That is a national emergency in the Middle East, right? Like I said before, a national emergency must happen, in my opinion, for this to get done. So it's going to either be the break in the system, some type of crash in the U.S. stock market, okay, and that breaks the system, okay. It's going to be, and that's a national emergency, or the prophetic boom from Israel to Iran, that is a national emergency in the Middle East, or the citizens going crazy, right, in the streets. That's a national emergency. So whatever it is, and remember the green zone is open. Green zone is open, so that will be a national emergency because that green zone is wide open now. right? So we need to see some type of climax for this to be over. Okay, and we've been saying that for months, and we haven't seen the climax yet. Okay, and Maliki to Summer News. I am deputy, okay, of Barham Saleh, which is the president of Iraq, right? So he trying to be the president? Is he trying to be the deputy to the vice president, or is he trying to be the vice president of Iraq? Was he? I don't get this. It says that Maliki said that he has not yet sworn in because he was waiting for him to be appointed vice president of Saleh. So hold up. So you want to be? He wants to be Saleh's deputy. Okay, something's wrong here. Okay, the president, the former prime minister of Iraq wants to be a deputy to the president. But it says here he wants to be appointed vice president. Something's not right here. Okay, so does he want to be vice president? Because if you're going, I can't even speak because this is ridiculous. Maliki is desperate for a position in the government. This is, and he's pull. I've never seen a former prime minister be this desperate for a position in parliament. This is how corrupt this guy is. Jeez, because he knows what's coming. That's why. That's why he's so desperate. But anyways, he says, I want to be appointed vice president to Saleh. That doesn't make any sense because the vice president is appointed to the prime minister, right? You might be a deputy to Saleh, like one of his deputy, first deputy to the president, second deputy to the president, but a vice president, that's under the prime minister, right? Under the prime minister, and you are a memorial figure. You go out and do memorial things, right? So celebrations or types of parades and things like. You're just you're one of those guys, right? You're really nothing. You have no power. But you have a position in parliament, so you're exempt from amnesty and all whatever all the corruption stuff. You're not going to be charged for many things because you have the you're under the parliament position, right? So Maliki's looking for a position so he doesn't have to be charged for all the things that he's done. So I'm thinking he wants to be vice president. Okay, I think the article is just a little off. I think he wants to be vice president because that's what he said before. He wants to be vice president. They attacked a body to try to get a body out, so a body doesn't get the vice president position. I told you guys a body would probably wait for the technocrat government to get in there and then take the vice president position. Maliki's trying to get it now, and he's saying that the president, Baham Saleh, was supposed to swear him in and get him in. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, it is not defect in the work of Parliament, but I am waiting for Brother Saleh to issue a decree by appointing a deputy. So, okay, so now he's saying a deputy. So, is it the vice president position or the deputy to the to the president? Okay, because this is weird because Saleh's the president. He's not a vice president, right? So he wants to be appointed either vice president or he wants to be appointed the deputy to the president. Well, make up your mind. This article doesn't know which way he wants to go, I guess. I don't know. He's always said vice president, right? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyways, working in Parliament is a major responsibility and requires continuous work. We in the state of law are working to strengthen the role of Parliament and give it an area of influence to build the Iraqi state. No, you're not. Okay, that's a lie. Maliki, along with Abadi and others, did not lead the constitutional oath as members of the Iraqi Council of Representatives. Okay, yeah. So that's what's going on. Maliki's trying to force his way into most likely the vice president position because he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming, and he wants to protect himself. If he's in parliament, one of those positions, he gets a pass. Right? He doesn't. They can't try him. They can't do anything to him because he's protected underneath the the signatures of the cabal or whatever you want to call it. Right. So he wants to one of those positions right now, and he's positionless. So they can if they get the technocrats and the cabinet and they launch the value and things like that, then and he has no position, he's going to be left fleeing to Iran basically because he knows what's coming, right? So if I'm Saleh, I don't do anything. I don't even listen to this guy. I pretend I don't even know him any longer. And I say, what? I don't know what Maliki's talking about, right? And you just continue to do your work, and and then you get the technocrats. By it might have to come by national emergency. You get what you got to get, and the international courts go after Maliki. Okay, but I'm pretty sure Maliki's going to run to Iran because that is a safe zone, safe area, and he's protected in Iran. So yeah. So anyways, let's see here. Let's finish it up here. It says urgent Alawi response to the Speaker of the House and reveals why he did not attend Parliament sessions. Because he didn't want to attend Parliament sessions. I mean, no one is attending Parliament. Do you see the numbers for Parliament sessions? They can barely get a quorum. Okay, so no one's attending Parliament sessions because it's a waste of time. You can't even pass the cabinet. So that's why it's ridiculous. Um, Let me see. He says position to deny. With okay. Why didn't he? Let's see here. I'm trying to see. So some of the allegation, no, some of the alleged exploiters exploited the alleged book in the attempt to fool Alawi. Okay, I don't care about that. It says in a dirty and cheap speech from some of the candidates that he should cut Alawi's salary. Hmm. Okay. Now, why didn't he come though? Alawi has been and continued throughout the last period, continues to work to serve Iraq and his great people and his government nationally, regionally, and internationally, and did not spare any effort but to do for the service of the homeland and safety. Okay. Let's see. It says 329 members of the new parliament, four were not sworn in as winners in the May 12th elections, including the leader of the coalition of state, Nur al-Maliki. Alawi won the legal oath of deputy, but in addition to other deputies, did not attend any sessions of parliament. Okay, so all right, so they're trying to deal. The speaker is trying to deal with all the people that are not coming to parliament, and I did talk about that in the beginning, and I did say that they don't, these people just don't. They don't care. They don't care because they realize who's in control, and they're waiting. And I guarantee you, they will care once there's a national emergency, or they will care once the cabinet members are technocrats. That's when you'll see them care. Okay, but until then, a lot of these people do not care. Okay, it's going to take a national emergency for these people to care about Parliament coming to work and about the country. It's just what it is. So, anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. From there, we'll wrap it up there. Let's just see what happens. Donald Trump is only a few days away now. We're going to continue to count down. Donald Trump's decision of a national emergency is coming very soon. We're 7 days away. Okay, for the Democrats and Republicans to get a deal and the government to stay open. If not, the government will shut down February 15th. And let's see if Donald Trump does a national emergency and to get it done, to reopen the government and to fund the wall. So, and then let's see what happens right after that. After that is announced, let's see if the Democrats go completely crazy. All right, and let's see if the citizens, some of the liberal citizens in America, also go completely nuts. So and start to march, protest, riot, and things like that as well, because of the decision of the national emergency. All right, so that's it. Talk to you guys later. Continue to watch out. If Benny does go live tonight, I will post his video tomorrow morning. Peace out. Eyes open. Bye.